Everything is falling apart, and nobody's playing fair anymore. In the Cheese Season 7 Episode 8, lines are crossed, secrets come out, and loyalties get pushed to the limit. If you thought last week was heavy, this episode takes it deeper. Darker choices, raw emotions, and a setup that could change everything. Emmett is in deep, and for the first time, we see just how trapped he's become. On the surface, he's still trying to be the responsible man, running Smokies, being a good dad, and showing up for Kiesha. But under all that pressure, he's losing control. This episode opens with Emmett dealing with the fallout from his secret alliance with Douda. And let's be real, this isn't a partnership anymore, it's a leash. Douda owns him, and Emmett's starting to feel the weight of that. He's torn between protecting his family and protecting himself. And every choice he makes just pulls him deeper into a life he never asked for. One of the hardest scenes to watch is the argument between Emmett and his father. Darnell. It's not just a father-son talk, it's a clash of values. Darnell knows something's off and tries to warn Emmett, but Emmett doesn't want to hear it. He feels like Darnell is judging him instead of helping. You can see Emmett fighting the shame of where he's at, while still trying to act like he's got it all under control. It's pride, it's fear, and it's a real look at how black men are often forced to deal with pressure in silence, trying to be strong while everything around them is falling apart. But Darnell's not giving up. He's old school, and his way of showing love doesn't always come off soft. He drops some real talk on Emmett, basically saying, "You can't fix a broken home by building it on dirty money." It hits hard because it's the truth, and Emmett knows it. You see it in his eyes, but at the same time, he's stuck. He's already in too deep with Douda, and pulling out now could cost him everything. There's this moment after the argument where Emmett is alone, sitting in his car, no words, just silence. And that's when it really sinks in. He doesn't have a way out. That silence, it speaks louder than anything else in this episode. That's the moment Emmett realizes that every move from here on out is going to hurt someone, either his father, his girl, or himself. He's got no clean options left. What makes this storyline so powerful is that Emmett didn't start out as a villain. He was just trying to take care of his own. But that's the thing about the Chi, even good intentions can lead you to dark places. And right now, Emmett is walking a tightrope between survival and destruction. And with Douda pulling the strings, it's only a matter of time before he slips. Kiesha is done waiting. Done being patient. Done holding her tongue while Emmett makes decisions that affect her life without asking. In Episode 8, we see a side of Kiesha that's been building for a while, stronger, louder, and more honest. She's been through so much over the seasons: trauma, single motherhood, healing, and now she's finally stepping into her power. And it's clear, she's not going to sit back while Emmett lets the streets call the shots in their home. Early in the episode, Kiesha senses that Emmett's hiding something. The late nights, the tension, the distance. She's not blind to it. She brings it up, and Emmett brushes her off with the usual, "I'm handling it" kind of answer. But Kiesha doesn't let it go this time. She presses him, not because she's being nosy, but because she's scared of losing the life they've worked so hard to build. She's been through the worst before, and she knows what danger looks like. And whatever Emmett's caught up in, it's starting to feel too familiar. There's a powerful scene where Kiesha sits down with Jada, Emmett's mom. It's subtle, but full of weight. Kiesha asks Jada how she dealt with Darnell back in the day. How she stayed strong when the man she loved was caught up in things he wouldn't talk about. And Jada, with all her wisdom, tells her, "You can't love someone through their silence. They gotta meet you halfway." That line hits Kiesha hard. You can see it, the understanding that no matter how much she loves Emmett, she can't carry this relationship alone. Not again. Later, Kiesha makes a decision that marks a turning point. She starts looking into real estate programs again. Something that's been on the back burner while she focused on motherhood and supporting Emmett. This is her way of saying, "If I can't rely on him to lead, I'll lead myself." It's not about leaving him, not yet, but it is about taking back control over her own life. She doesn't want to be another woman stuck waiting on a man to grow up. She's ready now. The tension builds when Kiesha finally confronts Emmett head-on later in the episode. No yelling, no drama, just cold truth. She tells him she knows he's hiding something. She tells him she can't protect their kids from something she doesn't understand. And most importantly, she says, "If you keep choosing Douda over us, I'll stop choosing you." That line is a dagger. Emmett hears it, and you can tell it shakes him, but whether he changes, that's still unclear. Asterisk, what makes this storyline so emotional is how real it feels. Kiesha's not perfect. She's not trying to control Emmett. She's just trying to survive. And in a world like the Chi, survival means knowing when to fight and when to walk away. Right now, Kiesha is still fighting, but she's letting Emmett know she won't fight for two people forever. Douda isn't just a villain anymore, he's a storm. And no one is safe from it. In episode 8, we see just how deep his control runs, and how smart he is at playing both sides. He's not just dealing in money and muscle, he's dealing in fear. And that's what makes him dangerous. Everyone owes him something. Everyone's scared of what happens if they say no. And Douda, he knows it. That smile of his, that's not charm. That's power. Asterisk, early in the episode, we see Douda meeting with his crew, and he's calm, collected, like a man who's already 10 steps ahead. He talks about expanding his reach, keeping the streets quiet, and making sure every dollar moves through him. But underneath all that calm talk is a threat. You either work with him, or you disappear. Simple. That's the kind of man Douda is. He doesn't raise his voice, because his silence is scarier. Asterisk, one of the coldest moments in this episode is when Douda sends a message to someone who tried to back out of a deal. It's not just a beating, it's public. It's messy, and it's loud. He wants the whole block to know. Loyalty isn't optional. That scene isn't about violence, it's about control. He uses fear the way other men use money. And right now, Douda is rich in both. Asterisk, but the most chilling part. The way he talks to Emmett. Douda doesn't yell at him or threaten him directly. He just reminds him quietly that he gave him everything. Smokies, that's mine. Your peace, I let you have it. Your safety, I provide it. It's not a deal anymore. It's a trap. Emmett knows it, and Douda knows he knows. That's the game. And Emmett, he's running out of moves. Asterisk, we also get a glimpse into Douda's political side this episode. He's putting money into campaigns, pulling strings behind the scenes. Remember Victor? Yeah, Douda's got his eye on him too. Not to support, but to control. Douda's plan is bigger than just owning streets. He wants to own the system. Get enough politicians in his pocket, and he won't need to hide. He'll run the game from the front row. Asterisk, what's scary is how calm Douda is through all of this. While everyone else is stressing, breaking, and arguing, he's patient. He watches, he waits. That's how he wins. He doesn't need to shout to be heard, he just waits until you need him. Then he names the price. Asterisk, and let's not forget, the younger characters like Bakari. Douda's got eyes on them too. He sees potential, but not in a good way. He sees tools. Soldiers, disposable pieces, and if they don't realize it soon, they'll end up just like the others, caught in his web, with no way out. Asterisk, this episode makes one thing very clear. Douda isn't going anywhere. In fact, he's just getting started. And as long as he's in the picture, no one's safe, not Emmett, not Victor, not even the people who think they're on his side. Asterisk, asterisk. Victor is playing with fire, and he's starting to feel the heat. In episode 8, his campaign finally starts to move forward, but not without cost. From the outside, it looks like he's winning. Polished speeches, shaking hands, kissing babies. But behind the scenes, Victor's fighting for his soul. He got into politics to protect his people, to change things for the better. But now, he's surrounded by people who don't care about change, they care about control. And they're watching his every move. There's a key moment where Victor sits with a political donor who offers him more than money. He offers protection, influence, but the price, silence. If Victor wants the backing, he has to drop the talk about police reform. He has to stop calling out corruption. Basically, he has to stop being the man his community respects, and become just another suit. You can see the struggle on his face. He's being asked to trade integrity for power. And the worst part, he's tempted. It doesn't help that Douda is still lurking in the background. We find out he's funding a few of Victor's enemies. Quietly, carefully. He's not trying to stop Victor. Not yet. He's trying to shape him, to mold him into someone who can win, but owe everything to Douda when he does. It's a long game, and Victor is just starting to realize he might be a pawn in someone else's plan. Meanwhile, Papa continues to be one of the most emotional threads of the show. After the loss of his father, he's been on a journey that's more spiritual than political, but no less intense. In this episode, Papa goes to a community event at the church, trying to reconnect with his faith, his people, and his purpose. But grief doesn't leave quietly. He has a conversation with an old preacher who tells him something real. Faith doesn't make pain disappear, it helps you walk through it. Papa is trying to be a leader in his own way, for his friends, for himself, but he's still haunted by guilt and confusion. His storyline may not have shootouts or politics, but it's just as heavy. He's learning that healing isn't a straight line. It's messy, and sometimes, the strongest thing a young man can do is cry, question, and still get back up the next day. Then comes the final scene, the cliffhanger that changes everything. It's nighttime. Emmett gets a call, unknown number. He answers, no words, just breathing. Then a familiar voice, soft, calm, dangerous. It's Douda. He says, we need to talk. Now. Cut to black. It's a short moment, but it sends a loud message. Whatever Douda wants, it's not good. This isn't a friendly check-in. It's a threat. Emmett's time is up, and next episode, something's going to break. Whether it's his loyalty, his family, or his life, we don't know. But one thing's for sure. Nothing is safe anymore. And that's where episode 8 leaves us, full of tension, full of pressure, and no clear way out. Victor's stuck between politics and the people. Kiesha's choosing herself. Papa's trying to heal. And Emmett, he's about to face the cost of every choice he's made. Asterisk, if you're feeling that ending like we are, drop your thoughts in the comments. Who's going to make it through this season alive? And who's going to lose it all? Asterisk, and don't forget, episode 9's coming. And if episode 8 taught us anything, it's that nobody walks away clean. Asterisk, so here's where we're at. Emmett's hanging by a thread, stuck between the streets and his family. Kiesha's rising, stronger than ever, but one step away from walking away for good. Victor's campaign is gaining traction, but he's losing pieces of himself along the way. Papa's trying to find peace, even if the pain keeps knocking on his door. And Douda, he's in full control, quiet, patient, dangerous, watching everything, moving pieces, like a chessboard, and everyone else is just trying to survive. Asterisk, episode 8 wasn't just about action, it was about pressure. Every character is being tested. Their values, their loyalty, their limits. And what's wild is, nobody is completely wrong, but nobody is fully right either. That's what makes the Chi so powerful. It's real, messy, complicated. Just like life on the South Side. Asterisk, this episode didn't give us answers, it gave us tension. It gave us cracks in relationships, silent threats, and a final scene that feels like a storm is about to hit. If you're like me, you're already wondering, what's Douda really planning? Is Emmett going to make it out without losing everything? And who's going to break first, Victor, under the pressure, or Kiesha, walking out the door? Asterisk, the streets are talking. The walls are closing in. And episode 9. That's where it's all going to explode.